Hey guys, it's Jedd here from Disrupt Tutoring, and as always, it's a pleasure to join you. Today, we're dealing with some algebraic equations. So an equation is basically where we are trying to figure out what x is equal to. So we've got the first one, 5.1, and they've asked us to solve for x, okay, if 2x plus 6 equals 0. Now, when it comes to an algebraic equation, we need to try and get the x by itself. So we need to keep the x's to one side, and then we need to try and move the numbers to the other side. All right, so the first thing we would do is we need to try and get rid of this plus 6. Now, because it's a plus 6 on the side, we need to subtract 6 from the left-hand side. But because there is an equal sign, to keep everything balanced, we need to subtract 6 from the right-hand side as well. So in our first step, the answer would be, okay, that little arrow just indicates therefore, 2x equals 0 minus 6 would give us minus 6. Now we need to try and get this x by itself. So what would we do? We would divide both sides by 2. I'm going to do it with the little pointer. But once we have done that, we know the 2's would cancel out. We'd be left with x. And on the other side, the minus 6 divided by 2, and minus and a positive stays a minus. And we know that 2 goes into 6 3 times. And that would be the answer to the first question. You're probably looking for about 2 marks for something like that. Moving on to the next one, guys. We've got something a little bit more challenging because we've got a fraction that's been included into this algebraic equation. Now, what I would suggest is always try and get rid of this denominator. And how would we get rid of that denominator? Because we are dividing by 3, we know if we multiply that term by 3, the 3's would cancel out and we would be left with the 2x minus 1. But because this is an equation, we need to keep everything balanced all the time. So we don't just times this term by 3, we times every single thing by 3, okay, in the entire equation, every term on both sides. Right, so once we've done that, in the first step, we would have, remember the arrow is therefore, and I'm going to drop that therefore in the first question as well. So the 3's cancel out and we're left with 2x minus 1. The 3 times x would give us plus 3x, and then the 3 times 2 would give us 6, which equals 0 because 0 times 3 is simply 0. Now we've got a linear equation, nice and simple. We need to collect our like terms on the left-hand side and leave the x's to one side. And then we need to collect our constants and move that to the other side as well. So if we look here, we've got a 2x plus a 3x. The 2x plus 3x gives us 5x, correct? I'm going to put my little therefore sign in the beginning. And we've got a minus 1 and a plus 6. So I'm going to simplify it on the left-hand side, and then I'm going to move that across to the right-hand side. So minus 1 plus 6 gives us plus 5. But because I want to get rid of the plus 5 on the left-hand side, I'm going to minus 5 on this side. And that means I need to minus 5 on the other side because we need to keep everything balanced. So we are left with a minus 5 on the right-hand side. That would mean then, in order to get rid of that 5, we need to divide by 5 on both sides. And the 5's would cancel out. We'd be left with x. Minus 5 divided by 5 is equal to minus 1. And that would be the answer. Now, guys, remember, before you move on in your test, you can always check that you're right. You can always put this minus 1 back into where the x is. You can put this minus 3 back into where the x is, and you can see whether or not the left-hand side is equal to the right-hand side once you do a little bit of calculations. You should never move on in your test from the equation section unless you have checked your answers, because these are easy marks in your test and exam. That's all from me, guys. Very special thank you to our sponsors for making this video possible. Read up a little bit more about them in the description below. Remember, if you want more videos like this, visit our website. If you can't find an answer to your question, remember, you can send us the question and we'll respond with a personalized video. Until the next time, guys, stay epic.